Hi everybody, it is February 5, 2022. What is happening in Canada? All over Canada. I'm going to start this video by playing this short clip. This is the reason people are out on the streets supporting the truckers and wanting freedom back because their lives are being destroyed.
Well, I come from a small town, village of Murnum. I'm an owner-operator, been suffering for the last couple of years because of the mandates and all the high prices that the government's been putting on all these small families, like groceries, fuel, you name it. There's not a single thing that they haven't increased in price. So for the last couple of years, we've been struggling. We can't go. You know, you go into the store and people look at you funny, and you wear a mask because that was the requirement. But besides that, like, my family, they just called me yesterday. They asked me when I was coming home. I haven't been home. Tomorrow it's going to be 2 weeks that I've been gone from home, and I came here Saturday to protest for the people, for my country, for all the small families suffering out there. And you know, I'm to the point where this is the last thing that I'm doing here, because like I said, I've been struggling. Prices are so high, I can't keep up. I'm working around the clock pretty much to survive, to keep my family food on the table. And the government's been so tough on people that they don't realize. They're out there sitting in a big office in their fancy chairs and pushing paper and pens, demanding all these ridiculous mandates that make no sense at all. I know so many families around, like in my area, they are all struggling, like small families. They don't know what to do anymore. They can't make enough money to provide for food for their people. And so here I am fighting for every Canadian in this country, for all the small families that are out there suffering.
Now, I do, even when I'm not doing videos, I listen to, what people have to say. I read articles, and inevitably, what comes into mind is what comments am I going to be getting? And a whole lot have left comments about, the supply chain disruptions and, well, everybody should be producing their own food. First of all, there are still people in the world that really don't understand what is happening, what is going on. And there's an awful lot that I've heard throughout the years of people who are trying to grow their own food, and geez, it's just not working. Well, look at what they have done to the environment and the saturation of aluminum in soil. So there are, even those who want to grow their own food are having difficulty with it. But when I listen to this, what really upsets me is the destruction of trust, destruction of community, destruction of family. We so need to bring that back, shore it up, make it strong. So when I hear that families are struggling, and look at all of the families who are struggling because of weather being used as a weapon, I want to know that communities, they're all coming together to help one another, and In community, there is such strength and power. Alone, you're weak as individuals, even an individual family. So we have to bring back trust. How do you do that? You tell the truth. You speak and you live honestly. It's easy. Well, that's not so easy, but it's a simple solution. You speak and live honestly. You want to live in a world where people really care about one another, and you can sense that people are helping one another and really caring about one another, loving that agape love. And I said that and I'm not even sure I pronounced it right, but then you have to be that. You have to be it. You have to live and speak honestly. You have to be caring. That actually entails doing work on yourself, because it doesn't come to us. If we've lived with this apathy, you can't just say, "Okay, I'm going to be caring." It's got to be genuine, and that requires doing work on oneself. And I'm all of a sudden going off into a tangent, and I don't want to do that. But I'm tired. Look at how much money has been raised for a trucker convoy. Okay, GoFundMe shuts it down, and I'll get into that. Um, well, they have raised quite a bit on Give, Send, Go in like 24 hours. It's over $1 million already. So communities can do so much if they just band together, help one another, and that's what we need to bring back. Especially when we are fighting against, these powerful, and the only reason why they're powerful is, we give power to these people, and an awful lot have. So they do have the power. They sure do have the money. They're criminals. They'll do anything. We need to create the power amongst ourselves. And we have it. All we have to do is work for it. Doesn't come easy, but it's got to be worked for. So everybody in your community, you really do need to create that again. And frankly, that was when, people were happiest. They did have joy, because happiness doesn't come from money and buying things. Happiness comes from your relationships. You have trusting friendships. You've got a trusting family. That's where joy comes about. Anyway, sorry for going off. I do go off on tangents. So, GoFundMe, now what they're doing, to simplify the process for our users, we will be refunding all donations to the Freedom Convoy 2022 fundraiser. This refund will happen automatically. You do not need to submit a request. You'll get your refund within 7 to 10 business days. Okay, why? Why did they suddenly change their process of... And frankly, this should be the default process. Whenever GoFundMe decides we're going to delete this fundraiser, every donor should get automatically their money back without having to chase it and fill out forms. Oh, but that's the way GoFundMe will get an awful lot of money. I've seen a lot of tweets, and I don't fully understand it, but apparently, if donors request a chargeback, a bank chargeback or something, then GoFundMe is, they get a bill for $15 for each individual that is requesting a chargeback. Now, you can look into it, and but the way GoFundMe was going to do it would have cost them an awful lot. And because there were so many tweets about this chargeback, and GoFundMe will be charged $15 for everyone who does this chargeback. That's why, oops, okay, we're going to do it another way. We're just going to automatically give your money back, which is the way it should be always. Especially when GoFundMe is willy-nilly deciding, okay, well, we heard from the police chief in Ottawa, the mayor in Ottawa. They want us to delete, so we're going to do it. We're going to listen to the government officials. And that's exactly what happened. Now, here, Ottawa Police, we want to thank GoFundMe for listening to our concerns as a city and a police service. The decision to withhold funding for these unlawful demonstrations is an important step, and we call on all crowdfunding sites to follow. Yes, all sites do not permit fundraisers for freedom. You can permit the fundraisers for BLM, Antifa, the violent ones, but not for these not violent protesters. Everything has been turned upside down. Ottawa Police. So you have a government official calling GoFundMe. They talk, and GoFundMe says, okay, all right, fine. GoFundMe had already communicated that Freedom Convoy had met their criteria for the fundraiser. Ottawa Police call, oh, you don't meet our criteria. That's how quick it was. So, and the mayor, what did the mayor say? Let's see. Jim Watson, mayor of Ottawa. I want to sincerely thank the team of GoFundMe for listening to the plea made by the city and the Ottawa Police to no longer provide the funds. In light of the unlawful behavior that has transpired in the last few days, they have come to the right decision in support of our city and our residents. And you know what? The organizers of Freedom Convoy should, and the truckers, class action suit, slander. You have been slandered. These people, the mayor, all of the liberals who have come out against, and not only against, they are slandering you by claiming that you're violent, that you're racist, that you're Nazis, that you're white supremacists. I mean, they should be sued and stopped from doing this. Okay, so that's what the mayor said. Where's the unlawful behavior? It's not there. The lies are really repulsive. But isn't it interesting? Antifa group Riot Kitchen, arrested in Kenosha by U.S. Marshals while planning attacks in the city and filling fuel cans. They still have their GoFundMe up. So, agenda-driven GoFundMes? That's okay. You can do whatever the hell you want. Commit violence. Be arrested. You still have your GoFundMe fundraiser up. They never took it down. Fight for freedom, be nonviolent, and in fact respectful in terms of everything that they're doing there. Cleaning up the streets, making sure that the streets are very clean. They have their own security, making sure that the behavior of people are, not violent, and they get yanked. Oof, this world. So Give, Send, Go. I tried to get on to Give, Send, Go several times today. I can't. I keep getting that error. Is it 504? Well, they tweeted out this. We have been under heavy DDoS and bot attacks. In spite of all of this, we still have managed to raise funds 5 times faster than the GoFundMe did. GoFundMe raised $10 million in 3 weeks, and Give, Send, Go campaign already raised over 1.1 million in just over 12 hours. People want freedom. They want freedom. They want it badly. They can taste it. They will pay for it. Good. 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 1.1 million in 12 hours. That's phenomenal. And you want to see this? There's a fundraiser on GoFundMe. Support people of Ottawa. Trucker Convoy, go home. GoFundMe. They wanted to raise $100,000. They've raised $265 in 2 days. $265 in 2 days. Can I read this? Oh, how sweet. Ottawa and its citizens are in turmoil. Contribute here and help Ottawa while these ill-educated individuals express their feelings and thoughts in the city, in the streets. Ill-educated individuals? Ooh. I just have to say not. They know exactly what's going on with this agenda with the pandemic, a lot of them. But a lot of them just don't want to be forced by their government to do something they don't want to do. Wow, how horrible of them. They're ill-educated. Oh, how do you get through to these people? I have no idea. Anyway, this funding will go directly to the city of Ottawa. Did the city of Ottawa start a GoFundMe? I thought you pay taxes in Ottawa, don't you? The city of Ottawa. The money can then be used to maintain the police presence there. Oh. First of all, I looked into it, and Ottawa has a surplus because they have a specific fund for these occasions. I think they had something like 15 million on hand for this in particular, for protests. Okay, so anyway, the money can then be used to maintain the police presence there, as well as clean up the destruction that has resulted from the members of our society that cannot differentiate rights from privileges. Oh, geez, my hunch is that this was written by somebody on the left. I don't know. Call me crazy, but yeah, that language. Thus expressing their anger in an animalistic and uncivilized manner. $265. Oh. Who is this? The organizing this fundraiser is it Kyle Tempeh? Who the hell is that? Can someone in Ottawa look this guy up? Tell us who this guy is, or her, I don't know. But by sending your money, you show the respect and support for all the sacrifices and tough decisions our forebears made to create this beautiful country. You know who sacrificed and the tough decisions that were made to go down to Ottawa right now. These are the people who love Canada. These are the people who want their values, their traditions, everything back, like freedom too. All of these other people who are going along with the government have complete and utter contempt for those Canadians who really love Canada. Utter contempt, just like the government officials in Trudeau have utter contempt for the ordinary Ottawans, the ordinary Canadians. And it's so clear. That's why it's so, exceedingly infuriating to me, because it's obvious. So, Canada has freedoms that most countries do not have the privilege to experience. To desecrate our country's capital showing zero respect for the majority of the people of this country who are working together to get through these tough times. Oh, 1 million, over 1 million in 12 hours, 265 in 2 days. Yeah. That fringe minority, everything, what you hear coming out of a government official's mouth, what you read and hear from mainstream media, just flip it right over, and the opposite is true. They're not desecrating anything. Man, well, doesn't look like they have much support at all. Showing once again who is the minority and who is the majority. And it's clear the majority of Canadians want their freedom back. This really is upsetting. An SUV rams Freedom Convoy protesters in Canada, multiple injuries reported, and Winnipeg. This has no audio, but you can see the car. It just comes flying through. It's a white SUV hitting 3 people. I mean, so it's coming up. It's amazing. Here, speeds right on through. But that driver had a mask on. There's a photograph on Twitter, and that'll be my next video that I
a bunch of police here taking statements, and fire truck just left, but there's an ambulance right there. This is kind of funny because they call us racist and we're violent and we're breaking stuff. But look at what's going on. This is ridiculous. Clips 3 people with his vehicle and decides that he's going to hit another guy full on, lands on the guy's hood and rolls off. Now, this don't make sense. But now I have a problem with the vaxxed people. I'll tell you that right now. Some of you vax people, you're getting real violent just because you watch the news and you listen to Justin Trudeau. Fuck Trudeau. This is some bullshit right here. I'm sick and tired of you labeling us. And then the other ones want to sit at home and go on their little keyboards and call us white supremacists.
So he's quite right. The liberal left has demonstrated the hate and the violence that they project onto others who are non-violent and caring and loving. Everything is upside down. The only way to reverse this is for every individual to maintain their own issues and also maintain, relative calm in situations, show no violence, and show no hate. That's exactly what all of these protesters are doing. It is phenomenal to watch, actually. Ramming into protesters. Wow. Well, here, Nova Scotia extends blockade ban to all roads, streets, and highways. Okay. Nova Scotia. Prohibiting protesters from blockading or disrupting traffic on any road, street, or highway in Nova Scotia. The new directive follows a similar one issued January 28, and that directive is still active, but banning protesters from organizing a blockade. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick border. So as of yesterday, all persons are prohibited from stopping, parking, or operating a vehicle, or putting any item in such a manner as to create or contribute to a partial or complete blockade of the normal flow of vehicles on the road, street, highway in the province. So everyone is prohibited from driving, except, of course, government officials, right? Yeah. Provincial or municipal workers, the police, or highway maintenance and repairs, that's okay. But apparently, how I read this is not even you guys in Nova Scotia who don't want to go to the protest can't be on the road, because it says you can't be operating a vehicle. You can't stop your vehicle. You can't park your vehicle. So in order to prevent a blockade, they issued a directive of a blockade. Makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, God. So, police close roads downtown Toronto ahead of trucker protests. Closures are to ensure patients and staff access hospitals. Now, I know in Ottawa that emergency vehicles, there's no problem. There's no emergency vehicles. All these vehicles can still get through. There is room enough for residents to continue to drive on the streets. That was one of the considerations that they had before going down there. Okay, so they have shut down these roads because they don't want the truckers in Toronto. It's not to ensure patients and staff have access to the hospitals. And that's it. That's all the information you get. But they also said, to the healthcare workers, brace for a weekend of protests in Toronto after watching what happened in Ottawa. Healthcare workers in Toronto now fear what could be in store as protesters plan to take to the streets near Hospital Row. Okay, that's it. That's the entire article. Mainstream media do such a fabulous job with your investigative journalism. But they already, like days ago, warned healthcare workers, don't wear your hospital gear because that will identify you as a healthcare worker and you'll be attacked by the truckers. Are you kidding? That, to you healthcare workers in Toronto, if you've got the fear of these protesters and truckers, your brain, you have literally just handed it over to mainstream media, government officials. You don't think for yourself, and it's easy enough to find out the truth about what's happening in Ottawa. It's been incredibly peaceful, respectful, loving, caring, joyful, having fun. Hey, you can see the smiles again on people. So it's truly remarkable and sickening at the same time what mainstream media is doing. Outright lies, outright lies, outright lies all the time. All right, so here, they're shoveling. This is the National War Monument. They have volunteers out. They're out doing this work. Volunteers picking up garbage. Volunteers doing the shoveling. Volunteers doing the cooking. Free food. No, they're not stealing any food from the homeless. They're actually feeding the homeless and talking to the homeless and telling them, join us. And, my hunch is that the homeless are actually having a pretty good time for the first time since becoming homeless. But look at this. Everything they're saying is a complete and utter lie. And again, I think I said it in last night's video, and I'll say it again. It is unbelievable to watch how you don't even see wrappers from gum or a cigarette butt or anything on the streets. Nothing. No, no one is stealing any food. It is so outrageous that this is going on. And yeah, I absolutely sue, okay? Sue them. Sue these government officials. Sue Trudeau for slandering you. It's a white supremacist, Nazi, racist movement. Canada, Freedom Convoy 2022, support from Nigeria. Hate to tell you this, but Ottawa, Canada is filled with racists. So you might want to reconsider. No, don't. Because obviously you know the truth. Not a whole lot of people care to know the truth. And that's what it's about. Caring. Caring. Do you care about the truth? Because that is the most fundamental thing. That's the foundation of a healthy society. So all you Canadians believing the horseshit that you hear, let me tell you, you are absolutely just as violent as those liars. And it is a violence. Slander and trashing people who are actually good, loving, caring, law-abiding, respectful, and they're your fellow citizens. When you trash them, that's a violence. You are the one who's violent. You're the one who's hateful. So it is our job to continually point that out, but we have an obligation to correct the lies. But, if you watch, what's happening in Ottawa, man, there are an awful lot of Black Canadians who are right there as protesters or truckers, and, well, I guess they're racist too. Please. All right. I'm going to play just the first few minutes of this. This is Brian Denison, and he went to Ottawa. He's walking around. He might be a resident of Ottawa. I don't know. But I'll link below. You can watch this. But he's walking around Ottawa, and he, too, is countering all of the lies.
Sent some pictures of what it's like downtown on February 1st, and it is amazing. There are so many people here. And again, I come back to what Trudeau said in his speech, and he read it almost verbatim from the Ottawa Gazette. They said the exact same things he did. So I'm wondering who's writing this news and who's writing his speeches, because they're exactly the same, and that's not what's happening down here. I have been walking around for hours, and I've talked to the truckers, I've talked to the people, I've made speeches over the last 3 days, and I've been around all of it. And everything that he says is happening. People stealing food from homeless people, people defecating all around. That's not true at all. There's people walking around with garbage bags, picking up all the garbage. You look on any of the videos I sent or any of the pictures that I'll be posting, there's not a speck of garbage anywhere. It's clean. They're all walking around picking it all up. People are opening doors for each other. People are saying hi, smiling. When was the last time you saw a really good smile in public and people, you're actually talking to people and you can see their mouth move and not the space diaper? Like, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is how people interact with each other. And if this is a glimpse of what's to come, it's fantastic. This is downtown Ottawa. Here's the truckers. They're still here. They're not going anywhere. They have come down here.
So you can watch this. Just click on the link below. But he's walking through Ottawa. Look, okay. These streets are every video that I have watched, and I've watched a lot of them. Pristine in terms of being clean. It's remarkable. I've never seen so many people gathered 24/7, and you don't see, even just a cup on the street. So this is organized so beautifully. It's incredible. Now, I will tell you, if you haven't figured it out by yourself, one thing that really angers me, and also it kind of it generates what I call passion to defend. When people mischaracterize other people, when people lie about other people, nothing will get me standing out and voicing what I think of them, voicing my opinion, or clearing up the lies. It is so outrageously unfair. It's a betrayal that is really, it hurts. And people shouldn't do it. Healthy, sane people don't do that. Unfortunately, we have an awful lot of very insane people. And it is, as far as I'm concerned, our moral obligation to confront them, speak up. And I'm not talking about, yelling at them and screaming. No, set them right. You might not be able to set them right. It's not about them, but it is about your obligation as a decent human being, part of humanity, to set the record straight. Well, that's part of what it means by living honestly and speaking honestly. You do not accept lies, and you correct those lies every time you encounter them. It's exhausting, but it needs to be done. Okay, I'll link below to everything, and yes, this, seeing how happy people are, seeing the energy, seeing all of this, it energizes me. I wish it were happening here in the good old US of A. It's not, but maybe we'll see a trucker convoy similar to what's happening in Canada. Canadians, you've inspired the world. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, and thank you for staying with it, holding the line, showing up day after day. It's cold in Ottawa, but there they are.